Can't let me drink that much. Oh. Huh. Okay. Phenomenally awesome friggin' book. Oh my goodness. Reading that with the Awakening Tuition. I put the hat on because, you know. I left it downstairs. Oh, shit. You like that? All right. Oh, excuse me. Oh, child. Wait for a few more people. There's a few more people to get in. So the VA sending out, the word is they're sending us, those who collect medicine, they're sending poison. It's not the medicine. I hope that's not the case. That'd be pretty desperate and stupid. No, I ain't sharing it with y'all right now. Next week. Next week, I'll share it with y'all. As long as the books keep trickling in, we good. All right, let's go ahead. I just want to get into it. I've had a few people hit me up and ask me because they watch. Some people actually go back and watch videos, and I appreciate you guys. I mean, on YouTube, from what I've been learning, you don't make but pennies a day. Maybe $1.50. You can make up to $7, and you can make $7 an hour. It depends on if you got like 1 million following. Now, if I had 335, I mean, Bob O'Rashton got 75. I'm like, how did that happen? But he's been on here for a while, and I guess his greeting and the way he gives his synapses, you know, people aren't the brightest. Anyway, not knocking it, because I like my brother there. First, let me start off with saying, grand afternoon, grand evening for some people. I hope your day was wonderful and blessed. As you see, I have my cami pants on. I had to go for a little walk, and I was going to walk in my kung fu pajamas. And I wore my shoes. I got many like that, so I got some that have never been worn. And I had to go to the post office because I got a note saying I had some mail. And I didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to drive. I actually was going to give my key to my neighbor and have them pick up the mail. But I said, if I got a script in there, I don't trust nobody. I trust everybody, but nobody. So I went and got it, and there I was. It was good. Now, the importance of history. I'm going to show. I don't want to convince nobody of anything. But let me share what, because my brother posted something and two people asked me, and so I said, let me go ahead and clarify this before I read a Little Iron Republic. Why is it important to know what the earth looks like? Well, the importance of, I will say hypothetically, if there are other things on this world and people annotate or acclimate to that ideology, then how could the world be round, a spherical ball, with the dimensions and the speed that it travels? But now, if you were to know that there were many other places like as such as this, they made movies smacking in your face. The dome, oh, they made up plenty of them. They taunted it at you, and yet here we have one of our bomb, the head of the NASA, supposedly this scientist taken from Germany, injured, a Nazi, an Ashkenazi. That's why the story of the Nazis was rewritten and told by a bunch of Ashkenazis and certain individuals within the military industrial complex. Anyway, let's forego that. If that is the case, they can't get back to the moon, and NASA, Nassau means to deceive in Yiddish. And most people will not, because you go and try attempt to learn the Yiddish language online, to look up words. Do that. You can look up even some broken languages of a made-up Chickasaw and Choctaw and all these other languages, so-called Cherokee, that has nothing to do with the truth of our language. It's not Aramaic. It's not the truth of our ancient language that we spoke up until a certain time, because when they came here, what were they speaking? All right, so I'm going to leave that alone. And if there are other Earths out there, because it is well known that we came from the southern tip of America. We migrated, and we migrated to we migrated to Cuba, Easter Island. They murdered them, all them inhabitants, and took them and slaved them over in Europe. First inhabitants from North America. We migrated from the southern tip all the way up into the North Americas, not the other way around. See, the Bering Strait is the story told in reversal, a pure, blatant lie. Because Russia is only 55 miles from Alaska, and Africa ain't that long either, because it's only a 5-day trip on a non-powered boat. What's funny is people have accepted every lie given and performed by these idiots. And I sit there saying to myself, why is it that nobody can acclimate to the truth? If our story, and I know, like I said, I have a story to tell, we came from another land, and there are pyramids and great buildings and grand capitals and all that, covered by tonnages and trillions of tons of snow and ice. Who created that? Who chased us? Who locked us in? Oh, this is historically a fact. They've just been revealing these truths. Like the islands off of Japan. How are you going to sit all of a sudden mysteriously find 70 and the islands off of so-called east side in the Atlantic Ocean? All those islands all of a sudden mesmerizingly appear. Around the Hawaiian Islands, the Philippines. Why is nobody actually brought? Because people have been blowing the whistle and telling the truth, and they feel like, well, if we don't get our way, our sacramental, our sadistic way, we would unlord your soul and your spiritual truth. We done beaten you down. Now we want to harvest you. Our stories of dragons and giants is no joke, people. And why are they hidden? Well, of course, we beat their ass back. Now here you got a bunch of ignoramuses who are I got this little idiot on Rat Williams' profile trying to jump at me. I says, you little punk ass. So he says, okay, Pops. I was like, I like the fact that you little Z generations mistaken punch drunk individuals in the entertainment for some of us who can outrun y'all and will beat y'all and break y'all in half and maybe 2 or 3 of you and run through you like running through a wet paper cloth. And I mean with ease. That's why I let him have it. And I know he's going to do with his effeminate self. He's going to respond in the same derelictic way. And I'm going to look at him, ignore him, and be like, ha! Because I had to get his estrogen levels raised. So, in lieu to all that, the earth, I believe, is a plane, a firmament, because on Werner Brown Brown's witch card it says Psalms 9:1. That's up there. I don't need the light. Damn it! If you don't see me, that's your problem. You know, I'm in the SPAC talking mode because I've got to get ready. Why is it not rotating? Oh, this thing is bugging. The AI is went off the fajita, man. Seriously, y'all, the AI has went off the fajita. The AI has lost its mind. Okay. I have to do this, excuse me. No. What in the world? No, don't lock nothing. There we go. It just stuck. Okay, let it slide all the way through, and I'm gonna mention something else. I know that it's hard to acquiesce to, but in our autochthonous, aboriginal, indigenous, in our true American, Indian, Niji, whatever you want to call it, Agedoe, Navki, whatever. All right, Kichiwa, my brothers and sisters, right? Ucha Ucha, right? We'll respond to that, right? Or Ucha Ucha, Kichiwa, right? Salutations, like saying ni hao. Let's be more blunt. When we know our truth, and you've come to realize that everything is backwards, reverse, upside down, inverted. So what's the opposite of round? They have everybody believing that armor was some mundane, heavy, weighed you down material, when that's not the purpose it served at all. It was to harness the energy around you to fight things, dragons, giants, and invaders. And one man in every story could walk through 100, and they had to narrow it down to one individual called Samson, this nigga with dreadlocks. But they wanted you to believe he was some Ashkenazi, some pale skin. See, they had to reverse everything in order to break, and this is a spell put on you, to break order, to envelop you in chaos. So when I tell you that the sun is not alone, neither is the moon, that the sun is female and the moon is male, they had to reverse that. Why? Because you won't feel protected at night with the male over you and nourished by the daylight with the mother taking care of you. This is what I'm talking about. It is not complicated, regardless of where you're at in the dynamics of who you think you are compared to the relativeness to the truths that are within you. These truths are in you, hypothetically. Let me show you. I gotta spell his name right. I want to show you. I'm not going to sit here just blah, blah, blah. I want y'all to look up Ronald Brown's Psalms 19:1. Can somebody pull up Psalms 19:1 for me, please? And don't put up, just put up what it says, please. Psalms, Psalm 19:1. It's no, you're right there. You're quick, usually pretty quick. You slow down, baby girl. Hey, what's going on, mama? Hey, Herbo. The first two people I see. Whew. I had to drink coconut water because I got a little slight cramp. I need to take my iron too. I need to take my iron. I'm going to read it to you regardless, but I just want you to pull it up. What happened, Snoo? You slowed down. I thought you were going to pull it up for me. All right, never mind. I'll go ahead and pull it up and read it. Hold on. Okay, cool. I'll take my iron here in a little bit. I drank sarsaparilla, so I don't want to overdo the iron. The heavens declare the glory of God. Now, we know the etymology, but we're not here to dispute God. It's us. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Pay attention. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they display knowledge. There is no speech or language where. Finish reading it. God's glory can be heard throughout the ends of the earth and booms with joy. The heavens are meant to reveal God's glory to us plainly. I got to pull the whole thing up. Because this is what they do. This is the algorithm for you. Anyway, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. The firmament showeth his handiwork. The firmament shows. See, we got to be careful with what we're looking up. Look up the Tanakh, the Torah, or look at the Old Testament, King James Version, not this revision, New English, and all that other crap. All right, that's what you did, honey. Always go to that which ordained to the first, or the book of Ojibwa in this original language. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have this knowledge. It's good to have, y'all. So, would our ancestors be wrong and King James have lied when the Ashkenazis created war and murdered him in Edinburgh, Scotland after he returned after 5 and 6 years, taking our ancient stories, the pale wolf and the dark wolf, and then us estimated to come back and make the Turin delusion up until 1935 to 1955 is when the earth all of a sudden started being a globe, especially in the 1960s. So all them thousands of years, hundreds of thousands, we didn't have a clue. We drew everything. We knew everything. And now they make all these fantasies and fictions up so they can control the consortium while partaking of you as if in a festive, what is it called? The succulent Negro as food. So again, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. The firmament showeth his handiwork. That means looking like into a globe, it showeth his handiwork. The waters above as the waters below. What is so wrong with having an open to seek inside self, to see these truths? It's not complicated, people. And I know it's hard to accept and make these things relevant, but the liar absconds in the lies, while the truth sits in victory, standing alone, waiting for you. This is what I do. Let's get a little bit of this reading in. I'm gonna put the light back up because I'm looking low. I look too weird. I don't like that ring. Like I told you, I'll be seeing purple. I'll be like I'm a drunk. I'll be seeing purple and pink elephants and stuff, and I'll not have something from TDTs or DDTs or whatever. No, for real. I'll be like, okay, yeah, good stuff. All right. Now, if you want to purchase this to have to read for yourself, awesome. I may read it somewhere down the line if somebody's going through something. This book right here, oh my goodness. This right here, The Science of the Sacred Secretion and The Awakening Tuition, those two books together, phenomenal. I still got plenty more to read. I'm gonna read this, get back to reading, and get butt naked again. And y'all have a grand friggin' whatever. And so I'll see y'all Sunday. But anyway, let's go ahead and read it up. Y'all can still donate, man. God dog, man. I got some books. I got books trickling in and everything. It's like, you don't get it? Yeah, call me a book fiend. I love it. That's just a little too late. I appreciate those who have donated, though. And I'm gonna read like I'm mother. So I'm really gonna take one day where I just go just ballistic. Y'all gonna be going out, coming in. I'm cooking dinner. The babies come home. I'm doing it. Red's back on. I'm reading. What is he at? Okay. I'm just gonna do a readathon. And pray that would be the objections to it, asked my hostess. Now, you know where we left off. If you were paying attention, we left off and be tolerated in my country as far as the flanky or illustrated, as far as the Ronian charming customs of home and there. And pray, what would be the objections of it, asked my hostess. To be perfectly plain with you, madame, I replied, it would be considered to that is immodest. But why? Because, my dear madame, it is, that is to say, he's stumbling, I am delighted with it myself and can conceive of nothing more becoming, I stammered. I am very glad, said Miss Morris, but why should this style of dress be considered immodest in your country? Because, madame, if you will have it, I answered under protest, it admits too much exposure of the person. You know, at that time it was ankles and wrists. I'm still an ankle and wrist man. But don't be having like 800 inner tubes around your waistline, because then I'm be like, I'm trying to poke you with a needle, see what happens. Like all the lovely goodness come out, or is it just something I need to stay away? Anyway, okay, right. And then in the world you come, from, one object of woman in dressing is to conceal the beauty of form which nature has bestowed upon them. Don't get it twisted. If I have somebody beside me or a few, we all become like bowling balls and there ain't no pins, we'll roll down the street and knock all the bowling pins down. We'll be joyous and harmonious together. Don't get it twisted now. Yes, madam, that is. It seems so. I'm sorry for my little interludes. Modest ladies attired as we are in a drawing room would blush and be embarrassed. Most undoubtedly, madam, at first. And yet on the stage, where the most beautiful and artistic effects are aimed at, this style of dress is employed. That is true, madam. It is also true that at the bathing resorts, where the sexes are thrown into the closet juxtaposition, only the rudiments of even the ironing or Aronian style are worn. Now, I will ask you candidly, Mr. Barrington, can you conceive of any more reason why the female form, which artists insist is the most perfect work of creation, you ain't kidding, should be disguised or concealed? Then there is that the symmetrical proportions of a horse should be hidden under skirts, or a beautiful statue covered from the head down with a blanket. Nobody should be walking around with skinny jeans and yoga pants. So we're going to knock that in and nip that in the butt. But anywho, smiling at the forceful illustration of my hostess. So when I want cheese, I go to the cheese department. Wine and cheese department, please. Anyway, smiling at the forceful illustration of my hostess, I replied that I could not, though, if crooked-legged horses and thin-shanked, imperfect statues could influence the fashion, even horses and statues might wear clothes. Yet, no doubt of it, exclaimed my hostess, and I seem to remember one of good old Aesop's fables about a fox who was unfortunate in the matter of his caudal appendage. May it not be, too, she continued, that the fashion of concealment owes its origin to sentiments and feeling exactly the reverse of modesty? Is, after all now, the revelation of such beauty as the female figure possesses any more suggestive than its concealment when such beauty is known to exist under the disguise? Indeed, indubitably, she went on warming up with the subject, and the commissioners excluded a most beautiful statue from one of our parks because of the indecent suggestion of the drapery. Remember, we've been hyper and overly sexualized when nude was not normal? Hence, Iron City, an American nip of orphan ideology or status. Here we wear 3 or 4 garments and combine comfort, beauty, grace, and utility. In your country, women wear a dozen or more, and the most complimentary thing I can say of them after studying their pictures is that some are not as ugly as others. God dang right, because I've seen some pictures, y'all. Do I need to pull up some pictures from England and America in the 1940s and 20s? Oh man, the women's heads is bigger than the dudes, man. Anyway, right? I'll dare say if Eve had come forth from the shadowy or shady bowers of Eden and had met her Lord and Master dressed in a modern American, pay attention, fashion, the poor man would have scaled the fence and left the garden off of his own accord. Bitch, I ain't make you like that. What you doing? What you talking about, Willis? Anyway, I laughed heartily at this sally, and looking slyly at me, Miss Morris observed that her mother must have some good reason for feeling so strongly on the subject. Oh, I make no secret of it, retorted her mother, good humorly. I was once prevailed on by Professor Morris to array myself in all the glory of the American fashion as it prevailed when he left there, and appeared in public full rig, hoop, skirt, and all. Oh, it makes my cheeks burn yet to think of it. Seeing a crowd beginning to follow us, I ran into a house and begged the lady for the love of heaven to hide me while my husband called a carriage. I was taken home in hysterics and literally tearing the flounces and frames from my persons. I held them over a flame till the last shred fell into ashes. That is, all but the wire and the hoop skirt. That the professor buried, and with it the last hope of making an American woman of me. Thank you. It was weeks before I could muster the courage to go on the streets again. Since then, my husband has admitted that his preference for American dress only extended to me, and that for all of the women he thought the style of the country much prettier and much desirable. Ah, well, he has gotten over all that now, she concluded, as you will in time. I assured her that I was already well over it, and in the matter of female dress, if nothing else, I was an iron Republican to the core. All those ankles and necks and wrist bones and what's that taper little? But you know what? Did they have any ass? Anyway, Professor Morris arrived in the midst of a general laugh and remarked pleasantly that it did not appear that I was being ostracized as an alien. He then informed us that he had learned while out that there would be a special attraction at the Capitol that evening in the person of Madame Chafton, who was to sing her latest song, and he had asked an usher from his office to connect us when her turn came. Madame Shafton, I was told, was considered the finest singer in the Republic and a composer of rare merit besides. Indeed, I was informed that in musical circles it was hardly considered good form for a person to play or sing anything except their own compositions. Ours are exploited, and it should be done with. We should raise Cain, but we don't. The exceptions being in the case only of music of extraordinary merit. In the midst of a general conversation, some 10 minutes afterwards, a sudden hum of voices penetrated the room from the transmitter, and then clearly and distinctly came the words, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to bring forward one who is known and honored from one end of the Republic to the other, and who has always been a deserved favorite at the Capitol." Then, during the applause which followed, very much in the American fashion, Miss Morse ran to the transmitter and, pulling out certain stops, drew what appeared to be a ground glass, listen to this, be a ground glass screen before it. At the same time, she turned off the lights, leaving us in the dark, except for a pale light which illuminated the screen from the transmitter. This grew brighter, and then I saw, like a stereoscopic projection, what appeared to be an arena railed off in the pit of a great amphitheater. Do you know what that is? A hologram. And in this arena, an orchestra, and in front of it, facing the audience, a tall and remarkably fine-looking woman. She was dressed in a loose flowing robe in the style of the classical Greek period, which with wide sleeves and bound loosely about the waist with a knotted cord. She wore sandals on her feet and a wreath of flowers on her head. The song was rendered and in chord, the whole performance being as distinctly audible and visible to us as if we had been in the auditorium ourselves. After it was frequencies and vibrations created that, people. After it was over and the transmitter had been adjusted to cut off any further proceedings, I asked the people in the city generally were connected with these places of amusement and was informed that I asked if the people in the city generally were connected with these places of amusement and was informed that everybody in the city and country was thus connected, who elected to pay for the service. If then anybody may enjoy these entertainments in their homes, where do the audiences come from? I inquired. My dear sir, answered my host, if it were not for these arrangements, it would be impossible to accommodate our people without greatly increasing the number of places of public entertainment. As it is, there is always a certain number who attend. For notwithstanding the perfection of our system of transmission, it is still most satisfactory to be present in person. I learned on inquiry that this extensive system, which pervaded the entire republic, was established by the government along with electric lights and railroads. This particular branch of it, though, it had been found expedient to let to private individuals or to lend to private individuals in the different cities. and communities. The system being let to the bidder, or the bidder guaranteeing the cheapest service. Wow. I was also informed that public entertainments of every kind were provided by the government without direct cost to the people. Most of the great orators, actors, and musicians being pensioned by the state. That means the government was doing what the people required instead of people doing what the government, because that's what not government is not there for. And hence we see the reversal of what is meant to be and the perversion. As a result of this, said my host, poor artists do not afflict the public, and good ones are not at the mercy of avaricious managers and irresponsible newspapers. Avaricious, excuse me. I found afterwards that the greater part of these artists were trained in the government conservatories, to which they had been sent from the public schools on account of extraordinary talents and aptitude. Those who became really great artists were put on a pension for life, if not forfeited by misconduct. There was no compulsion about it, however, and those who passed the examinations could renounce their pensions and try their fortunes in a private career, while those who failed to pass could do the barn storming business to the top of their bent. That means like what's it called, chicken wing or the the pork and bean circuit. Yeah. It occurred to me that the real merit might sometimes suffer in the presence of a pool, as we say here. But my host told me that the veriest barnstormer could have any auditorium in the country on petition of patrons, and if he could convince the people that he had merit, they had the power to have him put on the pension list again. Anyway, it must be a terrible drain on the revenues of the government, I ventured to remark. On the contrary, replied my host, less money than the United States squanders on ambassadors and consuls sent to foreign countries to serve the traders and protect the interests of those who have expatriated themselves, and provides this great people with the most elevating and instructive diversion that human ingenuity has been able to devise. It has now grown quite late, and I was very much fatigued. After a day of such remarkable experiences, I was not sorry. And when Miss Morris suggested to her husband that it was long past their usual hour of retiring, my host and family were religious people, and we stood with bowed heads while, in a few impressive words, he returned thanks for the day and invoked the diving care and protection for the night. Whatever that means. I was conducted to it might be divine. Anyway, I was conducted to, because it says diving. I was conducted to a pleasant room and retired immediately. But though utterly tired out, it was long before I slept again and again. I asked myself if this could be real and tried to recall a formula I had read somewhere for demonstrating an illusion. The panorama of the day's events, crowned and illumined, by the glorious face of Helen Morris, passed before mine eyes, like some old medieval picture in which the lustrous face of the Madonna appears, irradiating the whole. God, oh man, boy, y'all just don't know that right there, boy. If you can't hear anything in that is magical, and who the truth of our existence at one time merited upon those who escaped to continue in growth. That's why I say these bastards went over there and they've been making war or something. Because you remember, before him, many people were killed by an attack by the Anunnaki and the coven of the custodians, and the Anakin, who is in another part of the city, who work with them to increase their knowledge and technology to fight back. Remember, stop Bird and all those people. He even said that they got into a ruffle, a fight. Do y'all remember that? Admiral Byrd. And his first, when he came back, they had planes that got shot down and they got into a squabble and got the asses handed to them. Tell me I'm making that up too. It was in Popular Mechanics. Yeah. And then they took him away, and a week later he comes back and he's sitting at a table in front of the TV with some squabble of an OSS agent sitting there asking certain questions to redact everything that was said before. And he read and he spoke as automated compared to when he first came back on those videos when he was wearing the big Eskimo sealskin jackets and all that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen. We're at 36 minutes. I wanted to keep it short. Who all came in? Rhonda, what's going on, beloved? Snoo, what's going on, baby girl? Happy JR, Herbo, T. Hines. I hope y'all enjoyed the read. Not wanting to know what the earth really looks like is like living in a mansion. Oh, we're not here because some people need to know. But yeah, I know what you're saying. That's right, baby girl. And not exploring every part of it. That's right. You got that right. The heaven declares the glory of... Okay, we went that. Voice is not heard. I was making a cup of coffee. Say verses 2:6 that the heavens reveal knowledge. God's glory can be heard throughout the ends of the earth, and booms with joy. The heavens are meant to reveal God's. The heavens declare the Almighty of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And everything. Well, dang, what do you got against American women? He's swarthy, right? Well, actually, no. When they write these books, they acclimate it to the narrative to which it's like Hollywood. You know, when they made Egypt, they showed you. We know that in Nos Confoundum that there's every walk of life. That when we went there, it was not about black and white. They did that they didn't partake in that. You know? Like the caves with all the different color hands, brown, red, white, yellow, black, blah, blah, blah. And we're not talking about recent, it's all over the earth, very faded, very old. And pictures of dragons, okay? It's just that they're writing it from their perception of what this individual went through, who traveled there and returned. So his thing is to speak at the beauty and what he saw. We know William Morris and his daughter knew all. And it was never, like I said, race was created when? When was it pushed and utilized? In the 50s. Before that, it didn't exist. But the extermination of certain individuals through war and the rearing and raising of stupid children, yes, mitigated it. And they came with the perversions. You pervert the people before you pervert the land. But the land really can't be perverted. You can only do the service to the topsoil. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, let me get off of here. I appreciate you all. Mad respect, mad love. I got to get back into my mode. Unplug this again. I had to have some music, y'all. So, plug is right there. And turn this damn thing off and get into my mode. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all, I do. Love and mad respect. Big Pontiac, what's going on, beloved? Y'all have a grand evening.